Hey YouTubers. Tonight's video is by popular request. I'm going to talk about the state of the law as it currently applies to the First Amendment right to record police and other government officials. Believe it or not, the body of jurisprudence that surrounds this issue is far more scarce than what most people want to believe. The Supreme Court has never directly addressed whether or not the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution protects and safeguards the right to record government officials on your cell phone. However, out of the 11 United States Circuit Court of Appeals, or Courts of Appeal, rather, 7 of them have addressed this issue. Most recently, the case of Fields versus the City of Philadelphia, which came down less than a year ago, 7 months ago. And in Fields, the Third Circuit opined that the First Amendment does protect the right to record police and other officials. I have to say, though, the reasoning that was put forth by the Third Circuit was very specious at best. I mean, they basically went into a purposivist analysis, and one that's likely not to get the same scrutiny or attention at the Supreme Court level. I was thinking about this last night and the night before, and I think that even the conservatives on the court and those that subscribe to an originalist philosophy would buy into the argument that I crafted. For those of you that don't know what an originalist philosophy is, an originalist philosophy means that they interpret the Constitution as it was written, meaning that when they analyze a current event, they ask whether or not the framers would consider that event to be applicable or protected by one of the amendments in the Bill of Rights. With that being said, there is a historical analog that kind of goes with or kind of matches up with the right to record police on your cell phones. The First Amendment was drafted because of several reasons. One, as we know, is that the king would tax people for their right to publish and their right to subscribe, or their right to publish newsletters and their right to subscribe, etc., etc. In addition, the Crown reserved the right to censor what people would write and what people would transcribe. As far as transcription was concerned, the Crown also imposed a restriction on the colonists from transcribing the meetings of public let me get this straight, I'm sorry. The Crown imposed a restriction on the colonists on the right to transcribe the minutes of public meetings. And I think that with that being part of the First Amendment's historical context, that right equally applies to the right to record police officers and other government officials in their conducting their daily duties. Because what we're doing is we have an example right now that we can put forth of how the First Amendment was designed to protect government transparency and the right of the average citizen to safeguard government transparency. And just because we're using a camera to do it, as opposed to a ledger and a feather pen, that doesn't mean that the essential purpose for the First Amendment has been changed at all.